Hi viewers, welcome you all to the 29th edition of the Mysore Sport YouTube channel. Swimming is a global sport and it is very popular throughout in the sporting scene. Today we have with us Mr. Madhu Nagaraj, who is a very good swimmer, who is presently a mentor and a trainer with the Great Lakes Foundation and is based in Toronto. A Mysorean who did his studies in Mysore at Nagaraja's college, and he shifted his base to US in 2004 and then to settled in Canada in 2005 and has been continuing to perform well and mentoring people to take up long distance swimming. He swam the English Channel in 2004 and the Ontario Lake in 2005 and participated in the marathon in Sahara Desert in 2010. And later on also he took part in the swimming competitions, and also he recently was inducted into the Hall of Fame as an executive member in Canada. He represented University of Mysore while he was in Mysore and represented them in the All India Inter-University level and also in the state junior team. And today he is with us, and on behalf of the Mysore Sport YouTube channel, I welcome him. I also welcome Sri M.P.Nabhiraj, who is incidentally Madhu Nagaraj's coach and a former Mysore University coach. In the Mysore University, he has served nearly for 33 years as a coach, and he has produced many swimmers of quality. And presently, he is an office bearer at the Karnataka Swimming Association, and his services to the sport of swimming is very, very great in the city of Mysore. On behalf of the YouTube channel, I also welcome Sri M.P.Nabhiraj for our chat show. Namaskara.
Namaskar. Thanks, Murli. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, sir. Welcome to the show also, Mr. Nabhiraj and Mr. Madhu. On behalf of the Mysore Sport YouTube channel, I welcome you both for our show.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮುರಳಿ ಅವರೇ. ಮೈಸೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಉನ್ನತವಾದ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಶುಭಾಶಯ ತಿಳಿಸಬೇಕು. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ.
Thank you, Madhu, also. Welcome to the show, and tell us how you took up to swimming and what inspired you to take up swimming while you were studying in Mysore.
So back in my high school days, when we finished grade 10, there used to be a big transition moving from grade 10 to first year PUC. And living close to the swimming pool, so the only option for me to stay out of trouble was my parents sending me to the pool. I think I came here for a couple of public batch sessions, and then I think Nabhiraj noticed the fact that I was a repeat offender, that I was coming back every day. So he spoke to me and offered me to be part of the club. And that's when I started swimming. Actually, it was after grade 10 that I started swimming. And Nabhiraj actually has played a critical role in terms of
Spotting the talent.
More than spotting the talent, in terms of like there's a saying, when fundamentals are right, the results fly high.
True.
So like his contribution towards my swimming like portfolio is technique, which is actually very important, like simple physics. So Nabhiraj played a critical role in terms of instilling that some of the fundamentals that actually have, I'm 50 years old now. I still go back to some of the fundamentals that Nabhiraj actually taught. And it's become a muscle memory now. So I have to thank him for that. And so it was actually after I finished grade 10, that's when I started swimming. And I was also kind of like a seasonal swimmer. I'm sure my Nabhiraj was a bit disappointed with that because we would only come in when we didn't have the exams. So we would swim, participate in some of the events that he would take us to, and then we would go back to our studies. Because back in late 1980s and 90s, India was a different country. We all had to make sure that we studied. So swimming was just for us to stay out of trouble.
ಸೊ ನಾವು ನಭಿರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು ಅವರು ಬಂದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅವರು ನೋಡಿ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬಂದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ?
ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮಧುಸೂದನ್ ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟವಾದದ್ದು ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಪೂಲ್ಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಹತ್ತಿರದ ಮನೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಹುಡುಗರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಈಜುಕೊಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಸಿ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ ಅಂತ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಇನ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್. ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ಇವನಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್ಗೆ ಬಾಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಮಧುಸೂದನ್ ಎಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಯಿತು. ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನಾಟಿ. ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನು ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೋತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಈಸಿ. ಬಟ್ ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಅಲೋನ್ at home also. Here he mingle with the children. He is enjoy with the children. ತುಂಬ ಚೇಷ್ಟೆ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆ. ಚೇಷ್ಟೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತನೂ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆ ಆಟ ಆಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ. ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ದಟ್. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಐ ಟರ್ನ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಟು ದ ಸ್ವಿಮ್. ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇಂಟರ್ವಾರ್ಸಿಟಿಲಿ ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಫೈನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಬಟರ್ಫ್ಲೈ.
ಅದೇ ಟ್ರಿವಾಂಡ್ರಮಲ್ಲಿ
ಎಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ಮೈಸೂರು ಜನತೆಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ 3 hours ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಪೂಲ್ ಅಟ್ ಎ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್
ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ
ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಅಬೌಟ್ 100 ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್. ಆವಾಗ ಮಧುಸೂದನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಡೇ ಐ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ದಟ್ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ 3 hours ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್. ಆವಾಗ ತುಂಬ ಲೆಂತ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯಿತು, ಓ ಇವನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್, ಫ್ರೀ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಒಬ್ಲೈಜ್ಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಗುಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ನೇ ಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ನಾನೊಬ್ಬನೇ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ಗೆ ಒಮ್ಮೊಮ್ಮೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಚ್ಗಳ ಹತ್ರ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆ ಗುಣ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಕೋಚಸ್, ಹಿ ಗೇನ್ ದ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ ದಟ್ ಮೈಸೂರಿಯನ್ ಹುಡುಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಚಾನಲ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಜನತೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಮ್.
Madhu, then after your base, shifting your base to US and then now to Toronto, tell us something about viewers don't know about you much. So we need to tell them that here is an Indian, here is a Canadian who has settled down there, who swam the English Channel. How was the thought of that and how did you achieve that? Tell us talk us through the process in 2004.
In fact, I mean, I want to address some of things that Nabhiraj mentioned. Actually, everything that he said was true. And it's actually true right now as well. Because the social component of swimming is actually very important. And that's one of the benefits for me and the best thing that has happened to me in my life. I moved to US in 1994. So I studied in Boston and then I did some studies in Canada at McGill. Went back to Boston. That took me to California. So back in California, it was during the dot-com era, 2000 and 2005. So 2003, I lost my job. So working in US, you're bound to an H1 visa. Without a visa, you cannot work. No employer can hire you. So the logistics of that particular time, there was no employer because so many Americans had lost jobs and so they couldn't sponsor an H1 visa. Of course, swimming came in handy. So I joined a local master's team. And one thing led to another. I did my very first open water swim there. It was a 1-mile swim. And we graduated eventually to swimming a 10-mile race in Pacific Coast. I ended up securing a second place in the national level. And then, like I think as I wasn't working, fortunately my wife was supporting me at that time. So I had to keep myself engaged. keep my morale on a
Mentally.
positive state.
Yeah, positive
Which,
thinking
on a positive state, because I'm not working. So how do I had to set goals, because I mean, looking at the situation, it's not that I wasn't employed because of lack of skills. It's just the logistics of the area that I was living in, and the requirements of visa and all those things. But to swim, I didn't need a visa.
No, now talk us through that swim in the to the English Channel, and how did it happen, and how was the progress there?
So with that void in my career, I chose. I bumped into an English Channel swimmer. At that time, Carol Singh. She was the oldest swimmer to have swum across the English Channel. We were doing a race in Lake Tahoe. It's about 13 kilometers, and I happened to bump into her, and that's what actually stuck in my head. But I wasn't courageous enough to have that conversation with my wife. Hey, I'm not working, but I want to swim across the English Channel, which is like a big economic burden, right? Yeah. So I somehow, brewed some courage and spoke to my wife. Said, hey, I think I should do something with my swimming until things turn
rosy enough to get an opportunity to work full time.
To work, yeah. So I decided to sign up to swim across the English Channel. So I had 1 year time. It was 2003 October is when I decided to swim across the channel.
When was the event? When did it happen? And how much time did you take to finish that?
So English Channel swims are usually done during the neap tides in the summer months, because the water temperature is ridiculously cold. It hovers between 12 to 16 Celsius. So I had to train myself to swim in that water. So I had to acclimatize my body, which was actually, it initially was difficult, but living in San Francisco, it was the mecca for training for the English Channel, So I joined a club called Southern Rowing Club, which has produced a lot of open water swimmers and English Channel swimmers. Again, I had a lot of support from the community there. I became a seasoned swimmer within a year.
Okay.
Natural progression from 1 hour to 10 hours.
Okay.
So that was my training. And went to Dover in August 1st. My window opened on August 6th to August 15th. I was the third in the line, and I swam on August 10th. It took me 12 hours and 31 minutes.
Oh.
Fortunately, it was an uneventful crossing for me, and I happened to be the first Kannadiga and the first person from Karnataka.
ನಾನು ಪೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಹಂಚಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಸರ್ವಿಸಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೆ. ಮಧುಸೂದನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರಿಯನ್ನು ಇದೇ ಪೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ. ಹಿ ಡಿಡ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಜಾಬ್. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಮೈಸೂರು ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೂ ಪ್ರೌಢ ತರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂತೋಷಕರವಾದ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
Madhu, how was your next attempt on the 41 kilometer swim at the
Lake Ontario swim?
Yeah.
So we moved to Canada in 2004 after the English Channel swim. Living close to Lake Ontario on the shores. I mean, I live
That's a 41 kilometer swim.
That's right, yeah. So I live close on the shores of Lake Ontario. So that swim actually turned out to be a tricky one. It's, swimming is the best thing that has happened to me. I have to give back to the sport, so it would be my honor to share whatever I've done and whatever I've learned.
ನಾವು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ನೀಲಕಂಠ ರಾವ್ ಆರ್ ಜಗದಾಲೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಟುಡೇ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಶಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
In the days to come, we'll see you much more in Mysore.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Murli.